Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another PCM repair, this time in a 2004 F-150 Heritage. This is from Kenneth Robbins. He is from Texas. His BIN number, last digits are CA44569, and the customer concern is a no start. You will probably, if you have watched my latest video with Jose Jimenez in Texas too, with a 2004, same exact computer. I was doing a test and I was showing how this will not start if you send me the computer only because I have to program the keys in the instrument cluster. And the reason I don't also check or show that is because I wanted on the video to show Jose that I'm actually working on his and he's fully working. And I'm not going to send his computer yet back to him until I do the test, stress test, and the stress test because I want to make sure that when he gets it back, it's for good. But yeah, so going back into Kenneth. All right, so Kenneth, this is your computer. I will have to program now the instrument cluster and the keys because I only have a computer. So, and I want to show you when this is like this, we will have engine prohibited by PATS. So I have to go back, get out of here, and go actually into the instrument cluster. So we go here, instrument cluster, we enter it, and I'm going to read the data first. And we're going to go into data stream, and this is my instrument cluster, my transceiver, and my key. So, but that is it's okay. I can do that. So let's read data stream. We're going to go over to master key present, numbers of key required, numbers of key stored, numbers of key stored in the module. So let's select everything on the path, vehicle enable status. This access is only when you already requested the access. This is for programming, so we don't need that. So we have master key present, yes. Minimum numbers of keys, yes. Store, PCM and verification, okay, because all these are master keys and everything is stored here, not there. So this is saying that the key is present is something that the instrument cluster recognizes, but it's also saying that the PCM ID is stored, but it's not matching the one is stored in this cluster with that computer. So you see PCM control module verification, okay, no. Vehicles enable status, no. I was saying is status enable. Did I select the wrong one? Because it should say forbid rejected. Yeah, vehicles enable status. So vehicle security status rejected because the PCM is not a store. So when you do have something like that, you're gonna have to go to special functions. This is in snap one, an hotel, and then top down. I'm using the top down Phoenix Max for this. You're gonna enter in here. That's just a normal pop out, and it tells you that you need to wait for 10 minutes. So yes, we're going to wait for 10 minutes. And we're going to just see down in here. When you enter that, make sure that your instrument cluster says Diag because otherwise you are not in the correct process and don't even waste your time because the scanner might say 10 minutes, but if your instrument cluster is not in Diag, it will not work. And make sure that you follow the procedure as I'm going to show because otherwise, again, you will not be able to start a car. And I will show that here. All right, guys, so let me stop the video. And as soon as the time goes by, I will come back. All right, we got security access granted after waiting for 10 minutes. We click OK. What we're going to do is first a parameter reset. We're going to click OK. You will require two keys to start if you have replaced the path, blah, blah, blah. Let's click yes. The operation has succeeded. The keep alive memory is being reset. Do you want to continue? Yes. All right, so what do we replace here? So I want to actually address that even that we have replaced the instrument cluster, we're sorry, the PCM because we're using the same instrument cluster. No, we are going to tell him or the scanner, right, that we replace the instrument cluster. So erasing an ignition key is necessary, so we are going to do that, and it tells us that we are going to need two keys to start a car. Do you want to continue? Yes. All known keys has been erased. You must now program a minimum of 2 keys. And now that's what we need to do. We need to turn the key or the ignition off. We want to make sure that that diag goes off. And then you disconnect the scanner from the connector. So we are going to cycle the key. We don't have to because I forgot to mention this is constant battery, ignition, and 87. So I'm just going to turn this off like this, right? We're going to disconnect the scanner as the information requests. Let me stop 1 second. All right, so when we disconnect the scanner, now you see that the instrument cluster went off, no more diag, and that's why you need to do that. All right, so now we want to wait for 10 seconds with ignition off, and then we want do a key on with one of the ignitions, one of the keys. So you will cycle not to start, just to the ignition, count 3 seconds, then you come back out, release the key 3 seconds, and put the other key on for 3 seconds, go back to off, and then start a car. All right, so let's start with the one. We see that we have a ring in one and not a ring on the other one, so I'm going to start the ignition on. This is going to just go there, 1, 2, 3. We're going to set this off. I'm going to remove the key that I have here, the one with the ring, and I'm going to put the other key here, and we're going to do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, and now wait for that to go off. The light went off. Keys are relearn, and that's all you need to do. Car should start right now. All right, so we're going to exit here. I'm going to reconnect the scanner because we disconnected the scanner, right? So let me give me 1 second. All right, the scanner is back in connected. Um, we can, I would actually like to rescan to make sure that we get the correct information again for the vehicle, and we can see the VIN number should end on CA445C69, C as in Charlie, A as in Apple, 44569. For this, now I have the full probe completely off and the signal that I use for the crank off because I don't want the car to start yet. I want just to ID the vehicle, normal ways. So we got the correct VIN number as you saw there. And I want to enter over to the instrument cluster to go over to the same parameters and then now read everything normal. One thing that I want to enter first will be onto the engine computer and erase that PATS fault that we have there, and it should not come back if everything is working good, which with the light off I am certain that it is done correctly. And this is just a normal time. The scanner pops up always this little menus. All right, read the full codes, constant memory DTCs. All right, so let's clear the DTCs in which you have now only 3 full codes, P1000 and the fuel pumps, two fuel pumps. All right, so this is going to load again the list of faults, and now we only have 3. So this is a good sign. We no longer have an issue with the PATS. Let's go into the instrument cluster and let's read those again, those data values, those data pits that we need to. The reason I'm doing all this is repetition creates a muscle memory. You will be an expert if you're following me on these vehicles without a doubt. If you follow what I do always. So let's put, I mean, we can put, yes, master keys requires a start. We don't need that. Start in the module, paths, all, and then this two. All right, so all that was the same, and now we have PCM verification. Okay, yes, 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 enable. And I don't know why it was the same enable before, but PCM was rejected. So those are the only pieces that we need to see. All right, let's go back into the PCM, and now this time, what I want to do is again just put the CKP signal or RPM, right? Because in this case, 4 will give us RPM reading if the crankshaft position sensor signal is present. And I know my signals are proper. If we have visit my latest video with Jose Jimenez test, you will see that yes, the signals are completely correct and the computer runs good. So I'm just looking for engine RPMs, engine revolutions per minute. All right, so what I'm going to do is first click in here and put 650 RPMs. This will be my crank position sensor signal. And now I'm going to inject the cam sensor signal, and we do have a no start. So no RPM, no RPM. So this is the exact same situation that we have with Jose. This is a very common issue on these computers. I am I'm an expert on these computers and I can repair them all. But what I want you to see is that everything is indeed as I did with Jose. So what I'm going to do now is turn the computer off. All right, we lost communication. The instrument cluster is off. There is no signals in there, but I'm going to leave this time the signal. I want you to see that is on. And even when I'm not here, you will see that right here says signal on 650 RPMs that I am connected to these two connectors. This is the CKP positive and negative. And then I have selected for this the escape B6 3.0 for signal, which is only for the cam. And I have it set up in 650. So nothing else has changed. I got the same temperature for the air, for the coolant, the same on the TPS, and the same on the map that I was using for Jose. So this should run instantly if there is no issues with the computers and if everything is working good. Ignition on. We can see the sweep on the computer, but it's not a run. There is nothing. I can reconnect, and obviously if we have no RPM in there, there should be no RPM in here. So we have the same situation. Not sure how this computer looks inside because I've never worked on this computer before, but I'm going to open it up first, make sure it's not all corroded, and I don't think it is because of the amperage that I'm reading on my uh, uh, power supply. As you see, I have two. This is the one I use the most, but I'm lately using this one because this one can provide more amperage than that one. And some of these setups that I use, they can draw up to 3 amps at a start, and that one tends to flicker, and sometimes it doesn't let me run vehicles or computers. So when I know that I'm going to work in a heavier load, I use that one because I can go up to 10 amps on the front and up to 30 amps on the heavy wires connections on the back. That's actually when I need to test for like a throttle actuators and everything included on my setup. Then I need use the rear connections with more wiring, not just one. And I don't supply just one power or one ground onto the computer. I supply a lot more. So the load is distributed. All right, but that's the case. So again, this is for Kenneth Robbins in East Texas. In Texas, it says East Texas Custom Auto Work. All right, so I'm going to open this computer and then give Kenneth recommendations and an estimate for repair, see if he approves it, and then we go from there. Anytime you replace the PCM, what I would recommend you to do is just like do as you have replaced the instrument cluster, because in these vehicles, the PATS, the anti-theft system, is stored in the instrument cluster. So even though Ford does not really explain that well on how to do the process of like rematching or joining together them, because when you go inside the instrument cluster, and you can see that on the first video, all you will see like the master key is stored, the PCM is, ID is stored, even though it says not okay, which you replace the PCM or the instrument cluster because now you have no match. They're not matching in the IDs. So the best thing to do is just do the parameter reset and then relearn the keys and disconnect the scanner, and do the process as I do in the video. Please watch it. It's very, very good instruction, and you will be very happy if you have any resetting like this on a 4 F-150, pretty much overall all. All right, so Kenneth was a no start condition. I contacted him, I gave him the estimate, and he approved it. And now I'm going to do the test with you guys and for him and my records of the computer now working properly. All right, so I got everything off. As you can see, no connection to the scanner. The full probe is off, and the signal that I supply in here is off. This is the CKP signal. I like this signal better than the one the full probe gives for these vehicles. I can tweak it better than what I can do with the full probe. I use the full probe for the cam sensor signals, and as in here, that is plenty. And you will see that I tried multiple attempts to run his computer, and it was a non-start condition. All right, so first I'm going to turn the computer on. Normal TEF light will go on and off. That means it's reading properly. I'm going to reestablish the communication as completely out of the vehicle so we can read the beam. All right, so let me completely get out of here. We're going to do an auto scan. Last digits of his beam number is C as in Charlie, A as in Apple, 44569. And this is a 2004 F-150 Heritage Lightning. And with us in there, CA44569. Perfect. So that's the VIN number of the car, which we didn't change. That's the same computer. And I have the cover on the back with those numbers that he put in there so he can see that that is indeed his computer. We're going to select all the pits on the scanner as normal. It takes like 30 seconds to go through the whole process and then select the RPM, which is all I really care after the repair. So I just will do some selections in here that might be different in the car, but for what I do, this is all I need. All right, we enter in the PCM, and it's going to ask me if this is a supercharge after this message goes off. Oh no, actually just going to write a stream. Maybe I selected it quickly. I'm in auto mode, in autopilot. All right, so let's look for the engine RPM, which should be right here. All right, so I'm going to put this on a graph so we can see the change, because right now they're in 0. All right, so first I'm going to inject the signal on the cam sensor signal at 650 RPMs, which is exactly what I have in here. And then all I have to do is select this on, and voila. Now we got coils activation, we got injector activation, and we can see the RPM and the result on the scanner when diagnostic connector terminals are normal, continue to reconnect. I might have moved something. That could be the Bluetooth because it's been on for a while. And that is just the top down because we can see everything running and everything is working good in here. So no issues in there. That looks like the Bluetooth got disconnected. I'm gonna have to reset that connection again. Yep. All right, so let me go out of here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the computer off and I'm going to leave those signals for the cam and the crank running the same way. I'm gonna have to turn this off. Let me reboot this 1 second, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I've established a connection with the scanner. As you can see, we're reading RPMs. The computer is running. So I'm going to turn it back off this time, leaving, as I was saying, the signals. So yes, we lost the communication, obviously because it's not running, and I turn it off. But as soon as I turn it back on, we can see coils and ignition in there. Let's do the sweep on the instrument cluster. Now we can see that that is reading. We can see injection in the full probe program. And if we reestablish connection, we can see the RPM 660 or so in there. So one more time, I'm going to turn the computer off and turn it back on. Want you to see the lights immediately right there. We can see injection in there. We can see the RPM in there. And we're going to establish communication, and we can read RPM immediately. Again, 0 RPMs and then the RPM. So, Kenneth, this is your computer now fully working. I'm going to stress test this, which is going to be, you know, vibrations that might happen on the car, during shipping, see if this is going to kill the computer or do anything. I always do this, and we can see immediately injector RPM back in the screen. So nothing, all is good. We lost communication because I did turn it off, but boom, right there, all back to normal. So Kenneth, your computer is now fully working. I will be uploading this video for you, for your records and my records. Your computer is good to go. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye bye.